Right, okay, welcome to another Fix It Friday, okay, and this week I wanted to talk to you about lag, okay, what is it, where's it come from, and what is it really, all right? So we often hear on instructional sites, you'll often hear fellow professionals using it, you'll often hear tournament players talk about it, and they'll talk about lag, okay, so what is lag and so forth, and they talk about how you've got to, increase this angle that you started on the downswing. The more you increase this angle, the more power you're going to generate through the ball. And in a sense, yes, it does make sense, but it's not a forced action. Okay, the lag doesn't come because you suddenly increase the angles even more, because what that does is it breeds in tension into the body, and you end up becoming what we call a handle dragger, okay, where you drag the handle through because you're trying to hold the angle. And that's the other word that we hear as well. You hear people saying about holding the angle in the swing, and all those terminologies and thoughts, they all create tension in the swing, all right? And it doesn't need to be forced as such, okay? Now it can be practiced, that's for sure, all right? But lag initially comes from how the wrists work, okay, especially the right wrist. This is why I put this glove on, okay, so this is my one with the bit of shaft, bit of alignment rod in it. And this is actually runs at 90-degree angles to my wrist, for example, okay. Now, in the golf swing, my wrist works in this manner, okay, my right hand, this is obviously, okay, my left hand works in this action, but my right hand works in this manner, all right. And this is a throw-in action. If I was to throw a ball, okay, if I was to throw a ball, my right wrist would hinge back, okay, and then as it comes in, it would hinge through, okay, and that's how you create the motion. It's also more accurate because what I'm not involving here, hence why I've got this on, I'm not involving any wrist turn or forearm hand turn, okay. I wouldn't throw a ball and turn it unless I was trying to spin it, all right, so. But in most general, my right hand works backwards and then forwards. Okay, that's what helps me to throw it straight. All right. I wouldn't go like this to try and do it because I'll put spin onto the ball. All right, it's a lot more effort as well. So you've got to learn and understand that first, that the right hand works in that manner. Now, when I swing the golf club back, okay, and I go back, my wrist, due to momentum of the club and the weight of the club, my right wrist will start to hinge back, okay, hinge back on itself. And due to the weight of the club, okay, once I get to the top of the swing and my wrists are relaxed, there is a moment of inertia, okay. The club head wants to carry on going this way, okay, or wants to go down because of the weight of it, but my arms are starting to go back the other way. And that moment of inertia is what creates that little bit of lag. So it's a bit like if I held my wrist here like this and then I started pulling down, but due to the weight of it, you can see how that suddenly creates more angle because that's inertia, all right? And that happens naturally, okay? So as the club head is trying to go that way still, I'm trying to start the swing down again, and that inertia is what creates the wrist hinge. But I don't want to hold on to that hinge. I want to use that stored energy and that stored power to throw it through, okay? And you've got to understand that. So one, you've got to be relaxed, okay? The transitions, which starts earlier than what most people think, my arms get to about here, my transition is starting, that's what creates the inertia, okay? As I come down to about here somewhere, I'm still holding on to that inertia or that momentum, okay, and then I want to release it, okay, I want it to release. I want to throw the ball, as they would say. So it's really important you understand that's where it comes from, is as I swing back, my wrists hinge, and as I get to about here somewhere and I transition, there's that just a fraction more, and that's what creates the angles, because my club head is trailing and I come in, but then I do unload it and release it, all right? So it happens as a natural thing. If I was to swing my arm back and forth, there's a natural tendency, even if I did it with a club down here, there's a natural tendency, I'll take this off now, there is a natural tendency, if I just swing just my arm just back and forth, there's a natural tendency, just here, look, just as I'm going to about here, you can just see I'm not forcing it to do that. My arm's nice and relaxed. You can see as I do that, the handle goes downwards and the club head wants to carry on because the inertia is going that way and the momentum's going that way. All right, and that creates natural lag. At some point, then it then catches up because the momentum catches up, and gravity and all this business. All right, so it's really important to understand that that's how it works. But it's the throw action that's probably the most important part, because I've got to time that when that happens. I've got to time when I use that lag and to when I release that lag. Okay, so it's a natural thing that I've already built in. It's a natural thing if I was throwing a ball. Again, just going back to that, if I go back and I start to go forward, this then sets the wrist. So the wrist then sets back. All right, this is like analysing how to throw a ball. Everybody can throw a ball, and yet here we are analysing it to the 10th degree. Okay, so but basically, as I go back, I step forward. My hands are in a neutral position here, but as I go this way, that's the snap. Okay, and then my body stalls, my hip pushes back, and that pushes everything forward. So back and through. Okay, so that creates natural lag, and then at some point I have to release it if I want to throw it towards my intended my intended target. All right, if I don't release it, I would never get anywhere, and if I release it too soon, it will go off in the wrong direction. So my natural ability and my natural thought is to hold that angle until the right moment, and that's the key thing here as well. So you've got to learn to hold it at the right moment. Now, one of the best things that you can try and do is actually throw golf balls at a ball on the ground. Okay, so you can stand up here, take your right arm back and feel the action of how to throw it. My wrist will stay hinged early, because if I released it too soon, the ball would probably go over there somewhere. If I didn't release it, you know, I'd probably end up dropping it here. So you've got to learn, it will teach you everything you need to know about lag. Lag happens naturally, so back and through, I can release that, and I can practice that as well. I can learn to hold it for longer if I had to, just hold that angle for a little bit longer until I get the accuracy of throw. Now I'll take that one because it landed just ahead, all right? So you can then try and put that into the golf swing. So one of the most common faults we see with lag is when people lose that lag too early. So you can just try to just hold that throw and just think about throwing the club head, let's say, or the club with the right hand. So you're just feeling that throw in action here. People are afraid to release it, but it would, funny enough, it times it up at the right point. So back and through, okay? So I can hold on to it a little bit longer, I can play with it. The advantage of the club swing, or my hands working in this direction, means that the ball will only generally go straight. If I start adding in roll or forearm twist, then the ball's going to go offline, all right? So hopefully that's as clear as mud, all right? And you got an idea, but lag comes naturally. It's a natural action that you do if your arms are in a relaxed state. Okay, I don't think about it. All I think about is releasing it. And Jack Nicklaus used to talk about you can't release the club too early. He used to talk about releasing the momentum and also the hands. You can't. You've got to be thinking ahead of the game. All right, so I'm going to get back and through. Okay. I'm going to hold that momentum. I'm going to hold that angle off. You get this compression and all this business. Okay, so very, very important you practice that. And the best tip I can give you for that is to learn to throw a ball at a ball on the ground. Hopefully that will give you an idea of how to hold the angle at the right time. But you've got to still release it though. Remember that you can't hold it for too long. We see so many golfers trying to hold the angles through, and they end up having to make other compensations and not hit the ball at all well. All right, so hopefully that helps, and hopefully it gives you a clear understanding of how to produce correct lag. It's something that I practice on quite regularly, especially with my longer irons, because with my longer irons I tend to want to release it early or too early. But learning to play with that lag without tension is probably one of the best things. But the way I try to find it is through a feeling of actually throwing it. So back and through. I can delay the throw, I can increase the throw. So give that a try, and hopefully that helps you and gives you a bit of something to work on for this weekend when he comes. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you at the next one.